You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 435 for Sunday, the 4th of November, 2022.
Where dreams begin.
Hello there, Jane.
Hello there, Michelle.
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm been a bit busy lately, so I'm just enjoying a bit of a chill out time at the moment, chatting to you.
Perfect. I gather you were going to Troop, but then you weren't going to Troop.
Yeah, it's been a bit of an off and on situation as of today recording. So we're recording a bit later than we would do normally, aren't we? Because I think we both had busy weeks. I've been been away on holiday over the last few days. We've only had a couple of nights away in a local city, Birmingham, and just had a look around there. Christmas, very very extensive German Christmas market, which was lovely, and tried to do some Christmas shopping and came home and did it all online. But there you go. And then, yes, today we should have been out trooping with the East Midlands Garrison. They do a troop each year with a charity called PASIC, P-A-S-I-C, which is a children's charity that provides support for families that are going through children having cancer. So it's a very worthwhile cause, and they do a Christmas party each year in a local hotel in Nottingham. And we've been privileged to do it for the years that it has been running, three times now. Obviously, the last couple of years it's been a bit difficult for them to do it because of all the you-know-what that's been going on. But they've brought it back again this year. Unfortunately, because we're talking about children that have either just come through cancer or are still dealing with cancer, they have to be really uber careful about people being there. And unfortunately, both Simon and I have kind of picked up a bit of a sniffle over the last couple of days. We're both perfectly fine. There's nothing major going on, but we are aware that we've got a bit of a snuffly nose. So we thought, we better be on the safe side, because they do request that if you've had any illness in the 5 days prior to the party, not to attend. So we double checked with our guy who does all the coordinating yesterday, and we all decided that it was probably better that we don't attend, just to be on the safe side. Because I said to Simon, I would hate to go along, although we feel perfectly fine ourselves and we're not really coughing and spluttering. But I said, if we're breathing out a virus, then it's not really fair that we pass it on to families and children that aren't necessarily in the best position to cope with those viruses. So unfortunately, we're not going today, but we have got about 10 of our guys out there, and they will be supporting the families and the charity for a couple of hours today. So, and that's a charity that we raise money for all year long with the East Midlands Garrison. So it's quite nice to be able to do something with the charity and actually, get to talk to the people who run it and all the volunteers, and especially see all the children and the families. And it's a lovely event to go to. So it's really sad that we can't do it, but we're doing it for the right, we're not going for the right reasons, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, lovely.
Yeah.
I'm just drinking the last dregs of my nice make-at-home gingerbread latte.
Michelle on the quest for gingerbread latte.
I was a woman on a mission yesterday. I heard that my lovely friends over in the USA, not only was Starbucks not actually selling the beverage of gingerbread latte in the shops, but you couldn't buy the syrup. And it's like, nah, this isn't fair. I know I'm going to the States over the Christmas period, so I can hand some of these personally off to people, because sending it in the post might be a tad dodgy.
Might, yeah.
So
not
I
the safest.
went to this little Starbucks store. They didn't have any. Fifth store had 5 bottles on the shelf. So I sort of like scooped it all up and did a happy dance. And the people in the shop were looking at me a bit weird because it was empty. And there was just this crazy girl doing a happy dance because she'd found some syrup. And I explained to them, I showed them my collections of Starbucks, and they obviously thought, this girl's got a problem, when I started talking about wearing Starbucks outfits, having Starbucks bears, having a Starbucks Christmas tree, having over 140 different Starbucks cups. Yeah. But the good news is our lovely friends at Dis Down Under, Cat and Lewis, are going to be able to have a gingerbread latte at home. It'll be probably February by the time it gets there. But hey-ho, it's their summer at the moment, so they don't always need a hot beverage. And our lovely friends over in California can have a warm drink too.
Yay.
So apart from that, last week has just been crazy. I'm trying to get everything done at work prior to Christmas. I decided to organise the world's biggest, craziest Christmas event at the school where every child gets to go meet Santa. Their parents get to come. They get a gift from Santa. They get plastic cup full of milk and cookies. Oh my word, you would not believe the drama I have had with an online shopping company trying to get 500 plastic cups that we could use for this event. You can't buy them. And then I chose packets of biscuits for each class. Not allowed to order over 10 of any item. And it's like, So that's been a bit of a stress this week. Obviously today it's the anniversary of Dad passing. So my head's a little bit scattered all over the place today. But talking about Disney takes me to my happy place. So all is good.
Little bit of distraction always works.
Little bit of distraction. I've got some gifts to wrap, and I think I better start packing because I've got a flight coming up in a couple of weeks.
I know. I don't know about you, Michelle, but all of a sudden Christmas seems rather close. It just seems to have come out of nowhere.
It's unreal. And because I land back about 6:30 on Christmas Eve, which means I won't get home till 9 o'clock on Christmas Eve, all the shops will have shut. I'm having to sort of like plan ahead and think, what am I going to actually eat on Christmas Day that I can buy in now? So we're not going to be having fresh vegetables because they're all going to have to be frozen. I have bought the world's largest piece of ham, and that's quite happy in the fridge. And I've got a frozen piece of chicken as well, a frozen chicken. So we will have a Christmas meal. It may not be the best Christmas meal, but I'll be amongst family and it'll be lovely.
Well, it's funny because we're going to be doing Christmas slightly different this year, because suddenly it occurred to me on Boxing Day on the 26th, we're travelling down to see Molly and Dan. So we won't be home for a few days over Christmas. And I suddenly thought, normally you have your Christmas Day meal on Christmas Day, don't you? And then what happens the day after?
You eat leftovers.
Leftovers. But we won't be home to eat the leftovers. So we're going to go slightly as our US friends do in this household. So we're actually going to have our Christmas Day meal on Christmas Eve, which is quite nice actually, because it's also Ethan's birthday. So we're going to do Christmas Day meal on Christmas Eve. And so our Christmas Day is going to be well different. We're going to have a completely chilled out day, and we're going to have leftovers for Christmas Day. And I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be like, whatever we've got left over, I've got some party food bits in the freezer, so it'll just be like a really sort of laid back, chilled out, go with the flow sort of Christmas. And I'm really looking forward to that.
Do you know what? That's the best. I remember doing things similar where we just had a whole English breakfast on Christmas Day. One year I made chilli and the kids thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
It's not what you eat, it's who you eat it with.
I was going to say, it just, we all have these traditions, and we all have, sometimes I think we work really hard to make these beautiful feasts and goodness knows what else. And it's all done and dusted, isn't it, quite quickly at the end of the day. But like you say, Michelle, it's not actually about what's on the table in front of you. It could be, as anything as simple as a sandwich to a complete mega feast. It's actually the people that you share it with and the time that you have, not the food that you eat, that's most important.
Completely agree. Right, I have some Disney history, Jane.
Oh, okay.
5th of December, so hopping on to tomorrow, is Walt Disney's birthday.
Of course, yeah.
Walt was born in 1901 in Chicago, Illinois, and sadly, he passed away a few days later on the 15th of December, 1966.
Yeah.
So that's some sad news. But I have some happy news.
Okay.
And while we're always thinking about when we lose people that we love, you think about their legacy and what they have left behind.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
And the legacy of Walt Disney is still impacting on people who were not even alive when he was alive. So I think that just goes to show what an absolute legend the man was. And it links nicely to something that's coming to our little telly box screens.
Ooh.
The Magic of the Animal Kingdom Season 2.
Yay.
So we've got a premiere on the 1st of January on the National Geographic channel. But if you wait a couple of days, all 10 episodes will drop on Disney Plus from the 4th of January.
I have to say, I was completely surprised by how much I enjoyed season 1. Because it wasn't something that I was drawn to. I think it was talking with you and you were saying how much you were enjoying it. I thought, oh, well, I'll give it a go. And actually learning about not just the animals, but the people and what they have to do to get everything working, I just found, like anything with Disney, that behind the scenes stuff is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. So I'm really looking forward to the second season.
And it forms part of the Disney 100 Years of Wonder celebration, which begins New Year's Eve, because we know Disney like to have those all year round celebrations.
Why not?
Why not, indeed? Also, Jane, we've heard this week on the news that Splash Mountain will be splashing down Chickapin Hill for the very last time in Walt Disney World in its current state on the 23rd of January 2023.
Yeah, it's quite... I suppose it's good now that we've actually got a date to confirm this is actually happening. Because that was the thing for a long while, wasn't it? It's because it's been taught... I mean, it must be a couple of 3 years now that it's been in the ether, so to speak.
Yeah. No date yet for Disneyland. So at least I know in my heart of hearts that when I was in Walt Disney World this past August, I had my final ride on Splash Mountain. I loved it. I enjoyed it as always. And I'm intrigued to see what is going to happen, whether it matches up to the impressions that are being shared by Disney, and if it still has those feel-good feels, because it would be really, really nice to have a Tiana-based attraction in the parks. So we will see. Yeah,
I remember we visited Magic Kingdom in 1991, and we were there when they were in the very, I suppose, mid stages of actually construction, and there was all the boards up with all the images of what the ride was going to be. And then we were actually visiting the following year in the October of 1992. Hadn't really appreciated just how close to opening we actually rode it. So I must go and have a look through my old photo albums and just see whether or not I've got any photos of us on or near Splash Mountain in 1992, because that'd be really interesting to have a look.
Absolutely agree. We've also heard rumours, nothing official from Disney as yet. Choo Choo Train back on the tracks very soon in Walt Disney World.
Yeah, lots of rumours. It could be before the end of the year, isn't there? I mean, it's looking, from bits and bobs I've seen on different vlogs and what have you, that there's quite a lot of activity happening with the train at the moment.
Which is very exciting.
Very, yeah.
And rumours are afoot that maybe Tron might open as soon as March with cast member previews and then possibly open for the Easter rush. So we shall see if anyone has any trips perhaps planned around that time of year. I think they might get a little bit of a surprise and a ride on the old Tronster.
It's just great that we're finally getting some dates for things.
Oh gosh, yeah. It's about time, because Tron Coaster has taken an eternity to construct.
Yeah,
it has been slower than my husband's ability to redecorate our new home.
Oh, bless you, Tom.
No, there's no oh bless you, Tom. It was supposed to start painting on Monday evening. It's now Sunday and the paint's still in the garage. So don't give him any bless you, Toms.
Okay.
No sympathy whatsoever.
Okay.
So, thinking about Christmas.
Okay.
Thinking about those of us that are very fortunate and have been to the happiest place or the most magical place on earth during the Christmas period. It's just all around us. And I feel it tugging on my heart, like saying, oh, I wish I was there this year. I wish I was there this year. Because to me, the best time to go to any Disney park is during Christmas, because it just gives you that warm, Christmassy hug feeling that sometimes we get a little bit older, we get a bit blasé about it, and it doesn't feel the same anymore as to when I was a child and creeping down the stairs at 3 o'clock in the morning to see if I can catch Santa leaving presents under the tree.
Yeah, I mean, Christmas has always been one of my favourite times of the year anyway. And then you kind of mash that up with a bit of Disney. And I think I've said numerous times, it's kind of like a win-win for me. I mean, we've only been fortunate enough to be out there. Crikey, we're going back to 2004 was my time out at Disney World. And that was like, I think I want to say like the very end of November, going into the beginning of December. That was the closest I've got to being at a Disney park at Christmas. Although having said that, I have just done Disneyland Paris very close to Christmas. And that was complete madness because I've never been in a park when it's been so busy.
Yeah, I must admit, you have that same feeling over at California though, Jane, and I was very surprised the first time I went for Christmas to Disneyland that on a night it really got cold. And for me as a British girl to say it's cold, boy, is it cold. During the day, I was fine in my little jean shorts and my T-shirts, but on a night, I'd need a cardigan, I'd need a hoodie, I'd need a coat. And it got so bad, I went into one of the Disney stores and bought one of those sleeveless gilets and spent $60 on it because I literally was freezing. And I had hats, I had gloves, I was so cold. I even got to wearing tights under my jeans because it was really cold on a night. But when you are sat there or stood there on Main Street, you're seeing the fireworks, that gingerbread scented snow just dances down through the beautiful lights. It just warms my heart so much.
Yeah, there is just something quintessentially magical about Disney plus Christmas.
Yeah, it's just like it's ice cream, but it's ice cream with all the toppings, the chocolate syrup, the sprinkles, the cherry, the whole shebang. Now, one thing I've never done though, Jane, is go to Walt Disney World during the Christmas period.
Okay.
I keep putting it off because I've got grandson now, and I like to see him open his prezzies.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it, to know whether to go during a major holiday like that because of it being such a family orientated celebration over here. It is something that I would love to be able to do, is to go out over the Christmas period, actual Christmas period. I've always said I recognise that going out to Disney World or Disneyland, but particularly Disney World at Christmas, their parks are going to be rammed. They are going to be heaving. They're going to be a nightmare. However, I've always said I'm going into it knowing that's going to be the case. But for me, just to be able to say I was in Walt Disney World, whether I'm in the hotel or Disney Springs or actually in a park at Christmas, would be amazing. And I'm extremely fortunate now that there's a greater chance of that happening for me because I'm no longer employed in the education sector. So I have got a little bit more leeway in travel dates, etc. So it may happen. I'm not going to say never. We know. We just have to see all the stars align in the years to come.
Yeah. Over in the Disneyland Resort, they have Disneyland's Festival of Holidays over at Disney California Adventure Park. And this is such a fantastic time of year to go. There's all the seasonal food that you can go and try at the food booths. There's a special World of Colour show. The park's all beautiful, particularly at night. It comes alive. It looks amazing. There are some amazing names of the festival booths. We've got Merry Mashups, Brews and Bites, Favourite Things, Holiday Duets, A Twist on Tradition, Making Sprites Bite, which I think that might involve some alcohol, Winter Sliderland, which is so interesting, Grandma's Recipes, Visions of Sugar Plums, Paradise Garden Grill, and then there's some others that will pop up. And the good thing that they do is you can get your tasting passport. It's that little bit of a booklet that you can have a look at and modify what you wish to try out. You can do some pre-planning because we all know part of the Disney trip is planning everything that you possibly want. We'll go through in a little bit more detail, I think, over on our Patreon show about some of the other foodie offerings. But you have things, as well as Christmas, being able to go and see Santa, this celebrating Navidad, Hanukkah, Diwali, Kwanzaa and Three Kings Day. So the thing I really love about Disney is it does cater for everyone who might have different types of holidays to celebrate.
Absolutely,
which
yeah.
I suppose as in the UK, we would just say Happy Christmas or Merry Christmas. We wouldn't necessarily say Happy Holidays, because our holidays to us are those 2 weeks we get in the summer.
Yeah, that different use of the word. Yeah, what do we always say? We're joined by one language, but also divided apart by one language, isn't it? This element of different meanings of different words.
Yeah. When you say to somebody, I spilled chocolate on my pants are my trousers, not my underwear. So little things like that, pasty and pasties, those sorts of things get myself into a lot of trouble when speaking to my American friends.
Yes.
Yesterday, our lovely friends Tommy and Lena Allison were at Disney's California Adventure. They sent me some pictures of Viva Navidad, which is amazing. Guys, go over to the YouTubes and watch this. It will so get you in the spirit, and the music it's literally intoxicating because it's just so enthusiastic and bright and bold and colourful. It's just a fantastic little street parade that you just cannot do anything but adore. You also get to see the holiday toy drummers and toy soldiers and toy drummers, and the gingerbread men, to me, are the three classic staples of anything that Disney does well at Christmas.
Yeah, you can't beat those toy soldiers, can you?
It's just a little bit of live music. I mentioned you can go visit Santa at the Redwood Creek Trail. I never managed to go and see him there, but I did manage to go and see him over by the base of Splash Mountain. He was meeting by Winnie Pooh over in Disneyland itself.
Oh.
But the Redwood Trail is a fun place to go and explore over the Christmas period. I have done that myself. My husband and I was there together a few years back, and we had such a good time climbing all over the netting and up and down. It was really good fun. We mentioned about Season of Light, which is the New World of Colour show, which again, go to the YouTubes and watch it. Save yourself some money. It's fantastic. Always something I highly like doing on the lead up to Christmas is just sitting. You can even, I found on YouTube's the other day, Jane, which I just play in the class now while the kids are working. The music loop from the Esplanade at Disneyland between DCA and Disneyland Park itself. Someone's recorded the whole loop, and I can play it, and it's got some amazing holiday versions of some of the songs, which I absolutely adore.
Oh, you might have to send that over to me then, Michelle.
Will do. Of course, Disney cannot have a Christmas season without selling you all the merch.
Do you reckon?
We have got every single incarnation of Crocs, some of them even fur-lined now to consider that it is a bit chilly. There's spirit jerseys, there's cups, there's mugs and all sorts. I do gather me and Dee might look like twins next weekend when we meet up, because we both have the same Disney Christmas sweater.
Were you planning on wearing yours, Michelle?
I think I will, Jane, yes.
Yeah, we don't mind walking around shopping malls, do we? Looking like a pair of whatever.
Well, if my husband was a little bit more festive and got himself sorted, we could have got him that jersey as well. Sorry, when we go to Nevada, to Las Vegas this coming Christmas, we could have worn our jumpers, because the Allisons have got them as well, and all four of us could have been walking down, Las Vegas Strip looking like Disney fans who are probably sort of like thinking, where's Matterhorn? Where's Matterhorn? I'm a bit lost.
Yeah, a few 100 miles lost, but
Yeah. And finally, the last thing I do want to mention about Disneyland is their ride makeovers. And to me, there is nothing more Christmassy than seeing It's a Small World from the outside and on the inside during Christmas, because it's like fairy lights, it's glitter, it's bling, it's music. It's just fantastic.
It's like you've put all the good stuff in one big pot, mixed it up and exploded it. It's great.
Yeah. Absolutely adore it. And then last but not least, of course, you cannot do anything in the parks over in Disneyland without getting selfies with all of the beautiful Christmas trees.
Yeah, some stunning, stunning decorations.
Yeah. Now, we did mention on a previous show about the Christmas tour, OMG. So many people have been in touch with us, Jane, you would not believe it, that have
Really?
cancelled their reservation after hearing us and also seeing other vloggers talk about it. So, but I have seen people, telling me that in the parks they are still seeing these tour groups, and I imagine some people will be really, really disappointed.
Yeah, it's a bit sad, really, isn't it? So it depends how much you do your research prior to to going, whether you're just booking these things on a spur and you've not actually seen. I think we can sometimes take it for granted, Michelle, how much we absorb about Disney just through the YouTubes and Facebook and goodness knows what else. So if you're not quite in that bubble like we are, you perhaps haven't come across some of these reviews. So yeah, I hope people haven't been too disappointed.
Yeah. A lot of people who go to Walt Disney World at Christmas, their one-stop place has to be Epcot for a number of reasons. There's the holiday cookie stroll, where you can purchase a 5-cookie collection, which is shown on the festival passport, and in return, you will get something free. We all like that word. If Disney's going to give me something free, I'm going to be happy.
Yay!
And you will get a speciality completer cookie. And maybe another small surprise. I have seen over on the Disney Food blog that they got a gorgeous pin which is linked to the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. And if you haven't yet seen that and you want some laugh out loud, oh my word, Kevin Bacon.
Fab. Loved it. Absolutely
it's so good. I want to live in the house Kevin Bacon was filmed in. Wasn't that amazing with all the Christmas decorations?
Yeah.
Guys, if you're not sure of what we're talking about, go and watch it over on Disney Plus right now. It won't take long, but it's just a bit of silly nonsense, and I just love it how the actors were being so sensible about something that was so farcical.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it was probably one of the best Marvel things I've seen in a long while. Go and watch it. It was brilliant.
All I want for Christmas is Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon. It was just so good. And as I say, if you're doing the cookie stroll, I'll get back on task now. There are lots of different cookies that you can try. And one thing that us in the UK don't really get a great deal of is the Snickerdoodle cookie. And that one looks particularly yummalicious. But for me, there's only one cookie. The gingerbread man cookie. That is Christmas personified. And somewhere in my recipe books downstairs, I have a recipe that this lady, that my dad used to be a window cleaner many, 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 many years ago. And she always made him at Christmas gingerbread cookies. And one year I went with him and the lady gave us some cookies, really nice, we call them biscuits. And she gave us a handwritten copy of her recipe, which had been passed down her family. Now that is going back about 40 years, Jane. I still have this recipe and still to this day dabble and make them because they are the most delicious gingerbread cookies ever.
Wow.
But again, little memories like that just come flooding back with food. And I think that's why Epcot is such an amazing place to be at Christmas, because you get not only delicious foods from different parts of the world, but you also get to hear different stories from different parts of the world.
Yeah, it really is a proper festival.
It is. And admittedly, you don't even need to go into a theme park to enjoy Disney at Christmas, because you can go visit all the hotels.
Yeah, and they're all decked out and look amazing. I mean, Wilderness Lodge tree, wow.
Did you know, though, that some of the resorts are selling Christmas tree ornaments looking like a gingerbread house, but actually themed to the individual hotel? I saw an amazing one for Wilderness Lodge, and I'm like, I need that in my life. That is amazeballs.
I did not know that.
You see, I am able at finding out one or two things. Right, lovelies, I'm going to wrap up this show now. and put a little pin in it. If you do want to hear more content of Jane and I talking a little bit more in more detail about Christmas, or any of the hundreds of past shows we have got listed over on our Patreon channel, why not pop on over, find out how you can support the show, keeping it advert free, but also hear more musings from us. It's patreon.com/Disney Dream Girls. We'll be posting pictures and lots more over on @DisDreamGirls on Instagram and Twitter. And finally, there is our Disney Dream Girls podcast family on that there Facebook. I highly recommend a visit because Michelle has got some Christmas gifts she's going to be giving away over the next few days. Might be involving unofficial guidebooks, wink wink. If you know what is good for you, these guides are the best things you can purchase to help you plan your upcoming travels or just read to see what's happening new in the theme parks. Anyway, let's end the show right now. So until next time, it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.